Introducing Michelangelo's form. Michelangelo was an Italian sculptor, painter, architect, poet, and engineer during the Renaissance, who exerted an unparalleled influence on the development of Western art. Considered to be the greatest living artist during his lifetime, he has since also been described as one of the greatest artists of all time. A number of Michelangelo's paintings, sculptures, and architecture rank among the most famous in existence. He sculpted two of his best-known works, the Pietà and David, before the age of 30. Despite holding a low opinion of painting, Michelangelo also created one of the most influential frescoes in the history of Western art, the scenes from Genesis on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel in Rome. At the age of 74, he became the second architect of St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. Michelangelo transformed the plan so that the western end was finished to his design, as was the awe-inspiring dome after his death. Our Meet the Masters artists will be introduced to all aspects of Michelangelo's genius as a painter, sculptor, and architect. Their art activity will focus on designing a Renaissance building, including marbling their own building material in a creative manner. The Learning From pages feature Michelangelo's architectural skills. The drawing practice involving foundations and patterns will prepare the students to be more successful in their art activity. The students will design and construct their own Renaissance buildings involving marbling paper, cutting columns, foundations, headers, and roofs, and decorating them with patterns of their own creation. Make sure these vocabulary words are included, understood, and applied in the art lesson. Architect, column, dome, foundation, Renaissance, sculptor, marble, design, and header. Here are the supplies needed to complete the project. There is quite a bit of paper cutting involved, so plan time and helpers accordingly. Also, allow time before the first lesson to prepare the chalk. There are directions in your art supply kit about breaking the white and brown chalk sticks in half and storing them in baggies. We will start by preparing the building materials to use in constructing the Renaissance building. Michelangelo most frequently used marble, which we will imitate with our special technique and art supplies. Marble has lines or veins and variations of amazingly beautiful colors. We will use the brown and white chalk on manila paper to simulate those qualities. Use the side of the brown chalk to lightly cover the 3 sheets of different sizes of manila paper. This is done quickly, keeping the chalk flat on its side. Draw 5 or 6 lightning bolt lines going in different directions on each paper. The lines can cross, overlap, and be scattered over the paper. They can be curved or straight, or a combination of your choice. Be sure to leave lots of paper blank for contrast. Then repeat the same kind of lines with the white chalk on all 3 pieces. Again, keep the chalk flat and draw quickly, overlapping thick and thin lines, making sure to balance the colors. Encourage your students to use fast drawing hands to create more natural-looking lines, and watch out for students who go overboard on the number of lines drawn. Next, use your finger to gently blend the lines, using strokes that flow in the direction of the lines. This softens the lines for a more realistic marble look. Yes, anytime chalk is used, it can be a little messy in the classroom, but this step will give students a fun hands-on experience creating art. We have turned plain paper into marble blocks that are now ready for architects to start constructing the building. But instead of concrete and cement and hammer and nails, we will be using scissors and glue. First, we will make our foundation on which to build. On your desk, not in the air, carefully fold the 3.5-inch by 12-inch marble paper in half lengthwise. A foundation, of course, is the bottom or base of a building. Fold again in half lengthwise to make 4 long rectangle lengths of marble. Open it up and go over the fold lines on the inside with a line of brown chalk. It's much easier to do it on the inside folds. Draw some vertical lines to make bricks on the 4 long rectangle folds of marble. Remember to alternate the vertical lines like you practiced in your learning packet. Bricks are never stacked one directly on top of another when making foundations or headers. They are scattered for greater strength and support. Take care to space them evenly. Next, we will cut columns to place on the foundation. Carefully fold the 6-inch by 9-inch marble piece in half widthwise and do it again to make 4 rectangles. Inspired by ancient Greek and Roman buildings, Renaissance architects like Michelangelo used columns often in their construction. The architects will now customize the 4 columns to their liking. Draw large examples on the board from page 3 of the Working With lesson plan. For younger classes, demonstrate simple shapes. To begin, take the folded 6x9 column piece and lightly sketch a column design. Be sure to start and end the lines on all 4 corners. Then cut through the folded layers to make the 4 columns exactly the same. In ancient times, columns were elaborately carved and decorated, but simple is best for this project. Once you have done the cutting, set them aside for gluing later on. Although he continued to sculpt and paint throughout his life, the physical rigor of painting the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel had taken its toll on Michelangelo, and he soon turned his focus toward architecture. Michelangelo's crowning glory in this field came when he was made chief architect of St. Peter's Basilica in Rome in 1546. Now we need a roof for our building. Fold the remaining 6-inch by 9-inch manila piece in half widthwise. It will be a large dome similar in shape to the magnificent one Michelangelo designed for St. Peter's Church in Rome, Italy. Draw a curved half dome. Start at the top of the fold and carefully draw a curved line ending at the far bottom corner. When cutting, be sure to hold the fold. Open and make 4 evenly spaced marks across the bottom of the dome with your brown chalk. Now draw curved lines following the outside arc to make the sections of the dome, always starting at the top center and ending on the 4 marks across the bottom. The drawn curved lines give dimension and shape to the dome. Now, if the students are unhappy with the dome, they may refold it and cut a triangle instead, or turn it over and redraw the curved lines. Now it's time to construct our building with all the pieces prepared and ready. Time to put on your hard hat. Place the large brown paper vertically on your desk. Glue sticks are best for this project. Liquid glue makes it too heavy and wet with this amount of gluing. Begin the building with a foundation. Before any gluing is done, design decisions have to be made about the size of the foundation. Will your foundation or steps have 1, 2, or 3 layers of brick? Remember to reserve at least 1 layer for the header. Cut the number of layers you choose for your foundation. Now lay the bricks across the bottom of the brown paper. The bricks can be trimmed to form steps on each end, with each level slightly shorter than the one below, with small vertical and horizontal cuts. Once your cutting is done, glue the foundation piece to the center of the very bottom of the brown paper, leaving the top edge without any glue. Arrange 3 or 4 columns, architect's choice, on top of the foundation piece. These are the supports of the building. Space them evenly. Tuck the bottom of each column slightly under the foundation as you glue them down. Encourage the students to use a small amount of glue on the top and bottom of the columns so that they can stand away from the brown background and seem three-dimensional. Now use the remaining long piece to make the ceiling or header. The header should be at least as long as the columns are wide, so you can trim if necessary. Glue this piece down. The dome is the final construction step. The dome is centered on the header. It may extend over the brown background paper, so be sure to not apply glue to that section. Now it's time to decorate your building to make it special and your own creation. You can use both brown and white chalk, again, your choice. While a master sculptor himself, Michelangelo used other talented sculptors who carved designs and details in the marble, which we will add. With the tip of the chalk, decorate the header and the columns with repeated shapes. Look in the learning packet for pattern ideas. Remember, a pattern is a line, shape, or color which is repeated. Profile slips for each artist are provided. They give a brief description of the artist, the technique, and the media used in the art activity. They should be mounted on the back of each art project after it is completed with the students' names. I hope you enjoyed your day as an architect and builder. Maybe some of you will become architects when you grow up and design beautiful buildings that will last as long as Michelangelo's grand masterpiece, St. Peter's Church in Rome, Italy.